Hey everyone, and welcome back to Salesforce Mojo. Today we're going to be talking about quantity rules in B2B and D2C commerce. Now this is actually a really exciting functionality that Commerce Cloud released a couple of releases ago. This gives you the ability to control how your products are actually purchased in the store, at what increments and what minimums and maximums. So if you have some needs to be able to control how many of your products are purchased at a single time in an order, feel free to stick around. We're going to be jumping right into it now. All right, so let's get started with what is a quantity rule. Well, a purchase quantity rule in Commerce Cloud defines the minimum, maximum amounts of products that a customer can buy and the number of products that are added with each increase. So what does that actually mean in human language here? Well, number one, you can specify the maximum number of items you can purchase in a single order. You can specify how many is incremented with each time, and you can specify the minimum amount that is required to purchase. So here's an example I pulled together. We're going to have the example of a bulk sync. So this is mostly going to be a B2B example, in my opinion. There could be some B2C examples as well, but let's say that you have a product that you're trying to sell in bulk to some level, and you want to make sure they purchase a specific amount. You could have a product use case like I'm going to walk through here. You could also have a software base. Maybe you want them to buy at least 5 or 10 or 100 seats of a license when they go and purchase. Whatever the use case may be, you need to build these rules. And as we've done in past videos, I like making these tables because it makes sense to write them all out, make sure you have all the details first, and then go and do these. Because just like with all the other things in Commerce Cloud, you can build this record once and use it in multiple places. And I'll show what that looks like here in a moment. But we're going to name this minimum of 5, increment of 5. And what that means is the minimum amount I can purchase is 5. The maximum amount is 1,000, and that saves, on potential stock issues and makes sure there's availability across all of our customers. And then every time you want to purchase, you can't just go from 5 to 6. You have to go in increments of 5. So you go 5, then 10, then 15, and so on. And we're going to be applying this to just one product right now, which is our bulk sync. So let's actually jump into Commerce Cloud and see what this really looks like to set up and then actually to implement this use case right here. So we're in our Salesforce Mojo instance, as you can see, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over into our product workspace because I've already set up this product for us just to get past the initial part of creating the product. What we'll do is we'll drop into our product, and the first thing we'll do is we'll hop over into Edit Object. Now there's really nothing special about quantity rules that you need to enable. It's all already enabled for you, but you just need to bring the visibility to surface here. So you'll go into your product layout and you'll go into the related list section, and you can see that there's a related list called quantity rules. So I can drag that right onto the page wherever I'd like, and you go ahead and click save and make sure that is going to update there. And I can hop back over into my product now and just click refresh. And now we should be able to see quantity rules available. Now by default, you're not going to have any quantity rules because this is going to be a new object for you. So you'll go ahead and click assign here, and it's going to ask you for a quantity rule that you actually want to associate to this product. Now you have really two options at this point. You can either go and find the object directly and create a record, or you can just create a new quantity rule directly on the page here, which I think is a little bit easier. And so what we're going to do now is just fill in these 4 names here. So if we remember all the details that we just went through, we gave it a name of minimum of 5, increment of 5. We want the minimum amount to be 5. We want them to purchase increments of 5 only. And we want them to purchase only 1,000 as the maximum here. And you can see that it does allow partial and fragments of items as well. So you could go up to 4 decimal places through. So once we have that saved, it automatically fill in there for us, and we can click save. And now we've applied a quantity rule to a product. Now if we hop back over into the bulk drop-in kitchen sink here that I've created, you can see that we now have quantity rules associated. And if I click on this, I'll be able to see what products are related to this quantity rule. I can associate this quantity rule here to multiple products. to really allow this to scale. I don't need to create a quantity rule for every single product individually if they're exactly the same. So you really want to make sure you keep that clean there. Now, the next thing you'll need to do here is you'll need to go over into Experience Builder. So let's hop over into Experience Builder. And you just want to make sure that the way that we have the quantity rule language set up is correct. Now, this is going to surface in a couple different places. It's going to surface on the product detail page, the category page, and the cart page. So why don't we pull that up real quick? Let's go into products first. Okay, so we're on our product page now, and if you go down into the product detail purchase options and scroll down, kind of close this for a second, you can see there's a quantity selector section here, and you can see inside of the quantity selector there is default value here that you can use to fill in whatever text you want to show up for the different quantity options here. So you have the ability to change this, so a little customization there. You also have the ability on the cart page and category page to do a similar thing. So you will be able to change that. And then once we publish this with those changes, we'll be able to see those come across into the storefront. So why don't we pop over into the storefront and take a look at what this actually looks like. All right, so we're on our bulk drop-in kitchen sink. You can see immediately that we have our price here, but down below you can start to see some verbiage change. So you can see the minimum quantity of 5, maximum quantity of 100, sold in increments of 5 is the description that comes across, and you can also hover over this little tooltip right here, and you can see all the values that are put in here. And you can see that it defaults to 5. And every time I go up, it goes up by increments of 5. So it's exactly what we're looking for. Now, it's a little bit hard to see in this backend Experience Cloud right now because there's a little bit of a bug in production. But if you're working in a sandbox, you will be able to see this correctly. This actually does display as a full component and gives you a slot to be able to change this content if you want it to look a little bit differently. So you will have that ability to make that change there. It's just not showing up right now in my instance. But if I go ahead and add this to cart, when I was first using this, I was like, okay, well, this looks good, but I also want to make sure this happens correctly in cart. And I can confirm that value and that functionality does hold true here as well. You can also put the tooltip and you can see it only shows up on ones that actually have the actual quantity rule set up on it, and you can move it up and down by increments of 5, and it does really follow all the way through, all the way into checkout. So it does give you the full experience there. And that's it. Quantity rules are pretty straightforward, but I think it adds a really valuable piece of functionality to Commerce Cloud, gives you control of how much is purchased and at what increments up and down. So feel free to leave any comments or questions you have in the video, and thanks for watching.